How's everybody doing out there? I see a lot of rants going on about the George Floyd and all the protests, riots going on in the country. It's crazy. I haven't seen the country in my 30 years of living this crazy before. Not everywhere. I think most of it though is the craziness, the blatant lies that the news is putting out, and just our leaders too, man. Uh, 2 weeks ago they're telling us not to go to church, don't go anywhere, don't do anything because you're gonna kill society, you're gonna kill all of us, everybody's gonna die. And now they're handing out masks telling you to go protest. I mean, I'm pretty sure, the disease or the coronavirus would spread and protest too. Not saying people shouldn't protest. What happened to George Floyd, terrible thing. Police recklessness, negligence. I mean, just there's a lot of dumbass cops out there, man. I mean, who wants to be a cop? I don't want to be a cop. I mean, shit. You have to go screw with people. I mean, they literally deal with the scum of society, so they probably have, short fuses, and then some of them just don't care. Buddy of mine's a cop. Before that, he worked at the state hospital, and I think he's a good cop because he did work at the state hospital, because he worked with people that were crazy. He said, man, some of those people are crazy and they need to be in there. Some of those people are crazy and they don't need to be in there. There's just nobody to take care of them. He knows how to communicate well. He's not that asshole cop that pulls a gun on an autistic kid. He's a cop that goes and calms him down and gets him back to where he needs to go. There's good cops out there right now. His wife just deleted her Facebook because all these people saying defund the police and this and that. Look, who are you going to call when somebody breaks into your house? This defund the police crap is nonsense. And then also, take weapons away. It's, people got to defend themselves, man. I mean, I'm sorry. This is why this country is the way it is, man, because not in a bad way, but, people defend themselves around here. You don't fuck around, especially in Texas, man. A man I've known my entire life. He was a prospect of my dad's. He used to be his helper. I'm an electrician. This guy's an electrician. He lost his son about a month ago. His son was I guess, from my understanding, he was trying to steal somebody's car, and the homeowner came out and shot him. And he even understands. He said, well, my son shouldn't have been there. And this grown man, he made his own decisions, and it is what happens. It's a sad thing. Nobody wants to lose somebody, but we are held accountable for our actions. Not saying George Floyd, I don't know what he did, something about counterfeit money. He had a previous record. They said he was high and this and that. Doesn't mean he wasn't a good guy. I didn't know him personally, so I can't say. I'm not going to judge somebody I don't know. I know there was a buddy of mine, man, when he passed away. Sure, he did plenty of shitty things in his life, stuff that pissed me off even. But when they die, you don't remember them like that, and the family's not going to remember him like that. People aren't going to remember him like that. I saw a rant that Candace Owens put out, and she had a lot of good points. She said how black people, or black America, hoists up their lower, like they're like kind of like, I guess George Floyd was a criminal, and they're making him a martyr, like he was Dr. Martin Luther King. Like I said, I don't know him. She did her homework. She has her opinions on it. She has a valid point, but there are a lot of people that shouldn't have been killed. She went to I believe his name was Omar Castile, the one that the cop shot him in his window, even when he told him he had a weapon and everything. He was a legal gun owner. That was blatantly wrong, and that's awful. That deserved, justice then. It never came. Police are still idiots. Not all police. There's still idiots in the police force. There's good and bad in everywhere that you go. And people are saying, oh, I'm tired of hearing the bad apple stuff. But it's true. I mean, I'm an electrician. There's bad electricians, there's good electricians. Fortunately, in the electrical field, the bad don't last. You can't play the game. You can't put up points. We don't need you. Simple as that. I don't know how the police force operates. Apparently, they don't operate the same way. But I just, it's hard to comment on that just because I don't truly have the experience to know. I don't think reading a bunch of articles and stats and statistics and numbers is going to tell me anything. Well, it will, but it's not going to tell you what actual experience would. You got to talk to real cops. You got to talk to different cops. You got to talk to cops from different backgrounds, different neighborhoods, different cities. See what they think. I'm sure nobody wants to interview a cop right now. That another thing. And speaking of interviews, the media, man, the media is so backwards, man. They are. It's very blatant on what they do. I wish there was journalism without an opinion. And that's on both sides. I'm talking about, everybody kissing Trump's ass and everybody hating on him. I mean, why can't we just report facts anymore? We don't do that. The United States doesn't do that. CNN's lucky it didn't have its own building burned to the ground. One thing, I did not see CNN post Dirty Mike. I'm sorry, Dirty Mike. I know a guy named Dirty Mike. Killer Mike. They did not post Killer Mike's speech that came out last week. where he called for CNN to stop promoting craziness. So I just want to go out and say, my heart does go out to the family because they've lost somebody. It's always sad when a family loses somebody. George's family, Mr. Floyd's family, my heart goes out to you. A lot of people's hearts go out to you, and prayers go out to you, and that y'all find some peace and solitude. I'm glad that you guys condemned all this looting and violence that's going on. Somebody's clearly behind it. It's clearly a ploy or some kind of plot. I don't know. The plot does thicken, and it's just so bizarre. A lot of people say, oh, this left and right. I'm in the middle, man. I'm a big fan of Joe Rogan and his podcasts. He interviews all types of people on his show just to find out what's going on, man, and just to know, to have conversations. And I think a lot of people need to do that. So I want to give a shout out to Joe Rogan, man. I appreciate you. Also, a couple of people you opened my eyes to, politicians that, to me, in my opinion, I've heard a few of their podcasts, and they've been on your show. Tulsi Gabbard, she was completely shut down by her own party, didn't even give her a chance. She is probably the most sensible Democrat that I've heard, speak, and she didn't even get a chance to speak. You've got Mr. Dan Crenshaw, representative also. He's in Texas. I like the things he has to say. I think, they both talk about reaching across the aisle, and that's what needs to be done. What the American bald eagle, right? It's the bird of freedom, right? It's got to fly. Well, it's got a left wing and it's got a right wing, and you can't fly with one wing. That maybe that's the purpose of differences in this country, so we can all just kind of meet in the middle, common ground. It's not about who says what. It's not about pride. It's not about power. It's about the people, man. It's about taking care of the people. If you're so prideful and you give a shit about your tweet or just have to make it just perfect, you're selfish, and you should just take a step back and think about the people who are thinking about you. Celebrities tweeting their opinions too. I mean, celebrity has a right to tweet their opinion, man. They're just people just like everybody else. What's stupid as fuck is ABC News making it breaking world headline news that Taylor Swift has an opinion on the Trump thing. Who gives a shit, man? I don't care. I don't care what Taylor Swift has to say. I don't care what Drew Brees has to say about the flag. Yeah, his grandparents, his grandpops were, in the World War II, and that's the thing. The flag thing's a slippery slope too, man. You piss one people off, but you make other people happy. It's just vice versa. There's plenty of soldiers. My cousin, he's a soldier. He says he doesn't like it when people kneel, and he's Hispanic just like I am, man. I mean, we know what it's like. He comes from a shitty neighborhood. You know what I mean? Comes on the west side of San Antonio. He's made something of himself, and he believes in the flag, man. The guy's a Marine. Of course he believes in the flag. You don't like people kneeling down, but at the same time, man, I see where they're getting at. I mean, people being killed by cops too. I mean, you got to say something somehow, some way. Kaepernick, I don't know. I don't know the guy. Like I said, I'm not going to judge somebody I don't like, but yeah, he's full of shit too. I don't know. I don't see him down there protesting and this and that either. His whole thing with Nike, if he really cared about people or the sake of people or anything like that, you wouldn't do business with China. You would pay, American workers, black American workers, Colin Kaepernick, fucking $20 an hour to make your shoe. Do you need to make money off of it? Do you need money at this point, man? Come on, what about a little philanthropy, man? Putting people to work, getting your word out there, man. That's what counts, man. Nike makes shit in China. It's just, no. Sorry. I'm not buying that one. And that's the same thing with LeBron and all the other ones too, man. They didn't speak out on the whole China thing, and they don't care. That's a corrupt government, you know what I mean? And just they're systematic. They have systemic racism. They literally put commercials out. I saw a Japanese commercial. It was a soap dish commercial where the boyfriend came in. The boyfriend was black, and the Japanese lady threw him in the washing machine, and he came out and he was Japanese. I mean, honestly, it's kind of funny. In a fucked up way. I'm one of those. I have that. I'm a Dave Chappelle generation, man. I grew up on Dave Chappelle, and he makes fun of everybody. He's relentless, and people blast him and this and that. Good for them. You know what? Like he said, you clicked on my face, motherfucker. I think we need a little bit more of that. I think we need a little bit more Dave Chappelle, man. We need to have all these snowflakes quit getting their feelings hurt. You know what I mean? Misgendering and, is violent. Speaking out against any kind of gay or anything like that is violent. Saying you don't support gay marriage is violence. Inciting violence against gay Americans. Saying Chinese coronavirus is inciting violence against Asian Americans. You know what's so stupid? What's going to incite violence is a NBC head post that I saw, or an NBC news post the other day. I saw with the headline saying that one of the cops is Asian, so this just brings up long-standing racial tensions between blacks and Asians. Okay, are you trying to burn down Chinatown now? I mean, Jesus, what does the news want? I don't know. It's crazy. So I thought I'd just go on a little, try to wrap this up, 11-minute rant. I just want to say, man, it does matter who we vote for, you would hope. And, don't buy the bullshit, man. I mean, Taylor Swift, until she runs for office or something like that, why is ABC posting her headlines? Who gives a shit? These aren't the leaders we need to be looking toward. The leaders that we need to look for, the people that are actually leading us, the people that give their time, their free time, to be a politician, to make changes in the city, state, even community you live in. It could be a neighborhood, it could be a county commissioner, But the job of a politician doesn't stop. They're always kissing somebody's ass. They're always shaking somebody's hand. They're always trying to make something a little bit better, hopefully, ideally, and not for everybody else, not for themselves. I would say politicians in San Antonio are okay. There was that one idiot lady. She made some stupid comment saying this is all some kind of hoax to get Trump in trouble or some shit. Yeah, she's an idiot. I mean, if Greg Abbott, who's pretty conservative, tells you need to quit, lady, yeah, it's probably pretty serious. Just want to send a thanks out to Greg Abbott too, man, in Texas, man. I'm happy to be a Texan, dude. I'm proud to be a Texan. I kept working through all this Corona stuff. I'm a construction worker. I'm an electrician, and that's another thing. Construction work isn't bad. It's the things that the media puts out nowadays. What do kids want to be when they grow up? You don't see a construction worker as one of them. People think that's a hot, disgusting, gross thing to go out to. And you know what, man? Y'all might as well keep thinking that, because if y'all do, we're gonna be a 6-figure trade in a few years, electricians. Yeah, it's hot. Yeah, it's heavy. But, it's worth it, man. Y'all like y'all's lights. I like putting them up. But I'm just a common man. I got a family. I live in the suburbs. I would defend my property. I'm totally against looting. I think that's stupid. If you want to protest, do it the right way. Take a page out of Martin Luther King's book. And all these young kids, they need to do some fucking history. A lot of kids don't know their history. They're just ready to get out there and smash shit. They know what they know from social media. They know some stupid post that Sarah Silverman or fucking, some batshit lefty out there posted on Twitter and got retweeted a bunch of times because they're popular. And don't get me wrong, Sarah Silverman, she's pretty funny, but she posts some pretty out there shit. Any American that says they're for socialism, well, go to fucking a socialist country. I don't think the United States should ever be socialist, because that doesn't promote American values, man. I mean, especially actors and everybody else. I don't understand how celebrities could say they want to be socialist, because those, are the ones that really stood out. They're the ones that really tried hard to get out there and be an individual and make something of themselves and be there. You know what I mean? Socialism doesn't promote that. Socialism says everybody is treated the same and everybody will be the same. Everybody's not the same, man. Some people care, some people don't. Some people do, some people don't. And that's the driving force in life. Like they say, teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. Give a man a fish, he eats for one night. That's the principle in America, and that's the only way you're going to make it. That's the only way you're going to survive. So anyway, wrap this up. Keep this a little 14-minute video. I did say 11 minutes a couple minutes ago. Now I'm going to make it a 14-minute video. So I'm going to wrap this up. I just want to say to anybody viewing or watching this, I appreciate it. If you want to retweet it, I guess. I don't know. I don't care. Everybody else has an opinion. I figure I might as well put mine out there. But yeah, man, the whole left blaming the right and the right blaming the left. I think we just got to sit there and meet in the middle again, man. It takes 2 wings to fly, right? 2 wings got to fly. You ain't going to fly with 1 wing. The arguments has to stop too. The Democrats right now, they're honestly scary. They eat their own. I mean, months ago, Joe Biden was a senile old pervert who shouldn't have any kind of office or any kind of chance. Now he's just Uncle Joe, the greatest guy in the world, man. Oh, every Democrat votes for him and everything, and it's just sad. And it's obvious, it's blatant. And if you can't see it, then I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, I really don't. And I don't know these social circles, anything like that. I just know how, as a common man, I'm affected in what I see on the news and what I see on the streets, and that's what I'm talking about. So anyway, all of y'all, be good and say your prayers, and we'll talk to you the next time.